morning and welcome to this broadcast of me, Simon, a developer on Archetype Studios on the Midair project, working on some coding. Today we're trying to implement at least, is the quick voice binding system. So it's the system where you hit the V key, as built for mini games, you hit the V key, and using a bunch of shortcut keys, you're able to play some sound from a voice pack. Things like, defend our generator, or turn our flag, and other such things. This comes from an era where VoIP was not super reliable and prevalent, especially when we were playing on 56K modems, or worse even, all around the world. And this way we were able to, not we, but previous developers were able to provide a way for players to communicate while flying through the air really quickly without having to type or have a microphone. Obviously there's that benefit even today, especially for people who are not playing competitively, right? You're not on a team chat or a team speak. That way you're playing with general people on a pickup game or matchmade game. You're able to communicate without having to stop and type. So, we've got a brief outline of what I want to do. Music turned down. There we go. That's better. Let's see. Alright, so I've already pre-recorded several sounds. We've got Midair assets. We're going to have our defend our base, defend our generator, repair our base, return our flag, and a random sound for fun that people will spam to be annoying. So I've already got these in WAV formats. Hopefully Unreal Editor is happy with them. I guess we'll find out in a second. I won't import them just yet, but I'll kind of do a little outline here. Let's do viewport. So as a reminder, this is what the game looks like. This is our test world where we kind of are able to quickly play around with stuff. Obviously it's not pretty, but for the purposes of our workflow, it loads up fast and you can play around here quickly. But anyway, I'm mostly interested in the UI aspect for this thing, right? So we'll want some voice chat menu to come out over here. As we press the V key or whatever you'll have it bound to. As you can see in the lower left of the screen there, so we got our chat. So somehow I will try to hook up the quick voice binding to show up in the chat along with a sound. So you'll see something like defend our generator show up for me, except not in global, and it'll be a sound associated with it. They'll play for everyone receives a message. So we want to get the voice binding UI somewhere off there to the side, but don't want to overlay our actual chat. Alright. I've got a request to put on my headset so my sound is more constant. Hopefully that's better. Thank you. I'm going to turn up my speaker so I can listen to music myself, because it's cool. Alright. So that's the plan. Let's get started with the basic voice menu. So we've got our various HUD components here. This is kind of our collection of HUD widgets that we can assemble and rearrange. So we'll be adding a new guy somewhere around here. And what I've been thinking is using panels to have the different chat windows. So it won't be dynamic for the purpose of this, but if we go back to here, I'll show you. If you look at this options menu, these are actually different panels. They're all static, and when I click one of these tabs, they just change the panels being shown. So what I'm thinking is, once you hit V, and as you hit other hotkeys, we'll have different panels. It won't be obvious that they're panels, but it'll switch down the tree, and that way it'll be quite simple to at least sketch out and do the other hard work in C++ and making sure it all works in the amount of time we have. So let's exit out of that, exit out of the game. There we go. Let us bring up our actually I'm going to create a new widget. Alright, new widget for the HUD. There we go. Blueprints. Is that right? Nope, user interface. Here we go. Widget blueprint. WBP for widget blueprint. We'll call it, I don't know, what is it? Quick chat. Quick chat, quick voice. Let's go quick voice. That'll be what we call it. It's going to pop up here. Nice blank slate. Close our HUD for now. Alright, so we got this. We got a canvas panel. Maximize this for a minute. Alright, so now we want to throw together our panel system. There it is, panel row. We're going to call it, what's it called? The widget switcher. So we'll put it underneath our canvas panel. And what this will do is it'll allow us to programmatically change which widget below it is active. Right, so we're going to do it the way I like to, which is a collection of horizontal and vertical boxes, which might bite me in a little bit later, but we can wrap them again and fix it up. I guess as a bit of background, a lot of the work I've been doing on Midair is on the UI side, so a lot of time in blueprints, especially in this screen, the UMG, Unreal Motion Graphics view, as I wrangle it to make it look nice for us. Yeah, so widget switcher. What do we want to do? We'll have a vertical box. Actually, that's all I need is a vertical box. And in that vertical box, alright, so there's one vertical box. Should probably, let's see, what does this widget switcher need? I think he needs a canvas panel, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yes, alright, there's the canvas panel. Put this box below it. Inside this box we will put some text in there. Alright, there's a text block. So, what are our bindings? We've got, let's see. Let us start with, let's say, Defender Base. I'll make that VDB. So V is the key to open the screen. So the next set of options we got, actually I'll list them all. Like I said, we've got this random sound. I've called it OG. Well, I didn't call it, that's what the guy who screams it sounds like. He's saying OG. So it'll be VGA. We've got Defender Base, VDB. Return our flag will be VFR. Repair our base, VRB, and Defender Generator at VDG. One goal we want to keep in mind is as you hit the voice bindings, you want to keep your left hand, or at least assuming you move with your left hand on the keyboard around WSAD or EDSF, WSAD guy. You know, you don't want to kind of move away from your home keys on the left hand for movement as you do the voice bindings. So we'll try to stay clustered on the left side, especially for the more commonly used voice bindings. So that's kind of why I chose those now. Obviously this is completely a prototype, so this is not a final list of sounds or the key bindings. We may allow rearranging the menu for the end user eventually. Obviously it's quite a bit of work, so we're not going to do that for this, but hopefully these will be useful to our testers and early backers when they start playing the game. So, yep, so this is going to be our root level, right? We're going to show the possible options to go from here. So, let's change this to G for global, I guess. Alright, G for global. Let's make this vertical box. Let's see, why is it? Here we go. Boop. There we go. Alright. And we'll just keep adding text here. Add this guy below. He will be D for defense. Let's see, figure out why is it not showing up. Because this vertical box needs to be scaled out more. No, the canvas panel. Nope. The widget switcher? Yeah, it's the widget switcher. There we go. Lots more room. Okay. So that looks okay. I might want to do some padding, but I probably won't have a background for this, so it doesn't really matter once it shows up on screen. Actually, even now what we can do is see what this would look like on screen. So we'll save it, give a quick compile, bring up our HUD again. Let's see, anything exciting happening here? Nope. Alright. Bring up our HUD. We'll stick this new widget here. So we'll scroll down through here. We've got a list of all the things, all the different widgets that we have for Midair. And we're looking for a quick voice. So all we do is just drag it out here. There we go. That's kind of what it will look like in the game. So compile this, save it, check it out from source control. Alright, now we can actually launch it here. And there it is. It's kind of in the middle of the screen. But, you know, maybe that's great. But I think we'll move it down a little. It won't probably take up as much room. We can also change the font size later on. So we'll scale this down. I'll probably actually, I think I can change this to, can I do it from the bottom up? Actually, that'll be good. Can change these to size to content. So in our previews, it'll look correct without having to have all that kind of empty border around it in the preview. So if I save again, it still looks kind of the same. There it is on the left. Okay, it's a decent spot. Nice little font. I'm also, my preview is at like a pretty high FOV, so that's why it looks pretty crazy. I like to play high FOV, and we got that as a setting in Midair because it's obviously quite important for our hardcore players who've been playing for a long time. Alright, so back to this quick voice. Oops. Let's add the rest of our root level guys. Alright. Defense. F. We need F for flag. Move it down. F for flag. And then R for repairing things. Cool. Oops. There we go. And the last one, defense. I already got that. Yeah, defense. Yep. Alright, so we don't need this one. Can put it in here for fun, for something else. T for taunts. We'll want some of those, obviously. Alright, so that's our root level. So someone will hit V, it'll bring this up, and then we will walk on down this list. So what we'll do is create a new canvas panel, which will be our next level of chat. Where are you? Here we go. Canvas panel, drop it at the bottom. Okay, it's not listening. Nope. Alright. Here we go. All I'm gonna need, only one more level. Actually, I'm gonna need one panel for each of our different, these guys, right? So for a different panel for G, D, F, R, and T. I won't do T since we're not gonna implement it right now. Although if we have time, I can always record a taunt. If someone has an idea for taunts, this voice pack will be recorded by me, so it'll be the Simon Says voice pack that will probably get thrown away eventually as we get our cool voice actors to do some real recording. Alright, so let's do G next. I guess I can actually be nice and rename these, right? So this is going to be our root panel, let's say, or root bindings, root voices. Let's just go call it root. Got root, defense. Set these up ahead of time. Defense, here we go. Defense, flag, and repair. Alright, great. So let's do defense next. Again, we'll add text. Alright, there's our text. Fix that in a second. Alright. Defense, we got our base and our flag, so we'll do B, base. Do we want to type out the full text? Here we do. Defend our base. See how that looks. Defend our base, and we got on Twitch land. Oh, nope. Alright, let me leave this for a second. Mute some of our channels. Alright. There we go. Alright. Defend our base, I said, right? Defend our base and defend our generator. Alright. D for defend, or no, G. G for defend our generator. Alright. Oops, that ended up in the wrong panel. Drag it in there. Alright. So, the canvas panel, the only problem with the canvas panel is it doesn't really size to the things in it. I guess we could try replacing it with something else. Such as a horizontal box. Will that work? Yes, it will. Actually, that's dumb. I'll replace it with a vertical box, because that's the only thing I really need. There we go. Vertical box. We can actually move this guy out of the canvas panel into its own widgets. Kill the root. Here we go. Rename vertical box to root. This one is defense or defend. Alright. Got our root, our defend. My VLC is not on loop. Turn on loop, turn on shuffle, play some more. Sweet. Alright, root, defend, flag. Oh, I'm gonna replace this with a vertical box again. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Alright. Text. I forgot to name the vertical boxes. This will be flag, I think, right? So flag, return our flag. That's an R. Return our flag. I want to capitalize that O. I don't know. What did I do in the other ones? Yeah, we'll keep it all caps. Alright. Rename this to flag. Rename this to repair. Alright. Repair. What are we going to do? Repair B for base. Repair our base. Cool. Repair our base. Return our flag. Defend our base. Defend our generator. And, oh, we're missing global. My favorite one. Let's add that in as a new vertical box. There we go. Rearrange it. I guess to give it a little more insight into how the UI system works, because you haven't worked with kind of a, I don't really want to call it object-oriented, but a nested UI setup. UMG kind of is designed to, you know, take some sort of container object and put children in it, right, which are different widgets, and you can kind of keep on building it that way. So this vertical box is a widget that will contain other widgets, right? So it's a widget of widgets, and its job is to lay out its children in a vertical manner. So that's why we're using a vertical box, because we want this text to, be vertical, right? We want each entry to be stacked up below the previous one. There's different widgets, or different layout widgets, like horizontal, which will put things next to each other. There's grids for, arranging arbitrary kind of tables of information. We got scroll boxes for, kind of like in our options menu, you can kind of scroll up through the options, or through chat windows, and so on. So there's a bunch of nice little primitives, and you kind of toss other things in there, and you can kind of create your own custom widgets that are collections of widgets, save them and reuse them. And so it ends up being actually pretty similar to object-oriented programming, where you've got some sort of thing, you're trying to avoid redoing all this kind of work when possible. So you're creating your own widgets, so you can kind of feed information in, make it data-driven if possible, and reuse it all over the game. But in this case, we're kind of hand-baking it, or hand-rolling it. Alright, what I was going to do, global, yes. Global, G for global, and we've got some text in there. Get in there, there we go. Text, VGA, it's normally awesome, but let's see what's around this key. No, I'm just gonna make it G. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Actually, it's not weird, because there's a letter G in OG, so why not? Yeah, G, OG. Excellent. Okay, so we've got our panels. Alright, this is what it'll look like as we navigate through it. Save it again. Here it is in the preview, and let's look what it looks like over here. Right, still looks the same. Obviously it won't show up, won't be visible the whole time. We'll have it pop up when we hit V. Looks like I can move that way down in the HUD. Part of the reason it's showing up in that weird spot, you'll notice this is my this is our root HUD preview, right? And it's kind of sitting out here right next to the chat box, but then when I play over here, right, what's the HUD key? Here we go, play. Kind of shows up way higher than what I would expect. The reason is because I haven't anchored it properly. So you'll see these other widgets in the lower left have this little white star thing, and this is kind of where the coordinates of the UI's location start out from. So all these lower left widgets are kind of pinned to the lower left side of the screen. These guys are on the right side or lower right. These guys upper right. This death message HUD is up here. So what we want to do is change this guy's anchor from up there to down here. So now, because I'm playing this game at 2650 by 1600, and the UI is designed for a 1080p setup, right? Actually, this is displaying a 720p preview, but that's fine. It's a little more compact when I'm working in this window within Windows setup. So that's why it ends up funky, but if we just change our anchor to the lower left, there it is. Hopefully, let's see, do I need to change my alignment? Yes, I do. So the alignment here, again, kind of tweaks how the layout coordinates are based. So we'll make the alignment 1 here. Alright. And now we can move it down. Kind of pin it where we want. Let's see, will that do what we want? Alright, look at that. Just now right next to our chat HUD. It looks kind of, I don't know, the text rendering is kind of funky. The colon after G looks alright, but the other letters aren't so great. I think there might be a bug with the font rendering, but actually, do we want to change the font on this? What are we even using? We're using, what font are you? Roboto Bold. I'm going to do Roboto Condensed Bold. So I'm going to do a mass change. I'm going to have to select, actually, can I select this way? Nope. I got to select all the text here. do Roboto Condensed Bold. That might render a little better. Alright, that looks much better. I can differentiate between the letters and the colon now. That's a good start. So that'll be sweet. It'll pop up out there. Alright. Take a sip of coffee real quick. Alright. Delicious. Okay, so we've got the panels set up. Well, they're not really set up. That's a lie. We've got them laid out, essentially, but we don't have any way to go between the widgets. Yes. So, let's figure out how to do that. So what I'll try to do, let's see, can I capture it on the HUD here? This might be extra hacky. Let's do for testing. How will we do this? Nope, I gotta do from the code. So we're gonna go into Visual Studio and write some code. So the reason I'm going into Visual Studio now is because if we want to hit V and have it show this display, right? The problem is the HUD does not have keyboard focus or even mouse focus until the player controller. There's this class, right, that's handling all your kind of inputs. You know, tells the UI that you can take control of the keyboard and see whatever, let the UI do whatever it wants. Because generally the player controller is just handling WSAD, handling your mouse, firing, jump, jetting, skating. So we've got to basically tell the game that when you hit V, you gotta stop, doing what you're doing and give control of the whole keyboard over to the UI, so that we can let the UI navigate this tree of bindings and play the right sound and submit the right message. So that's why we're going into here. We've already kind of got that set up for our chat, so I will actually be able to basically copy it away. So you'll see here we're in the player controller. This class is responsible for basically all the movement and anything related to a specific player as far as control goes. And so we've got all these bindings which connect, basically where we connect some function that's going to handle something we want done, right? So for example, I've highlighted toggle in-game menu. It's a member function of this player controller class, and what we've set up is that we've got this binding called toggle in-game menu, and when it gets pressed, we want to run this function toggle in-game menu, and then in the input system, we're able to connect this, right, toggle in-game menu with some specific key. There's an INI file that defines the defaults, but we actually have in our, I can actually show this in our setup. Even now we have our control settings, and these are all rebindable. We've got a big set of spectator controls for our awesome pickup game shoutcasting that you'll see later today. But we'll have to add one here for quick chat for V, and that'll get piped in to these kind of textual bindings we create. So that's what we'll do, is we want a new thing. I'm literally going to copy and paste, because that's the fast way, right? We're going to do quick voice. When we press it, we will start quick voice. Right, and I'm going to find this function, start all chats. Here we go. Start all chats. Let's put it down right here. This will do basically what we want, but we're going to say start quick voice. Right, and what these start functions do is take the HUD. It's got this class has a pointer to the well, a different class actually, the MA HUD, but that MA HUD is then kind of the direct interface to the blueprint version of the HUD. So we're going to basically take our Midair HUD and tell it to call this function, quick voice, or start quick voice, implement this true and false in these other functions determines whether you're sending your chat to everyone or not everyone. In this case, for our UI purposes, it doesn't matter. We will handle the idea of whether a voice binding goes to everyone or just your team in a different area. Alright, oops. Yes, I do want to save that. My source control is not hooked up. That's alright for now. Alright, start quick voice, great. We gotta go to the MA HUD and implement the same function, I think. My IntelliSense is not working, of course. There's the MA HUD. Let's see, is start team, start chat, that's what we want, right? Yes. So, again, this is the C++ side of our HUD, and what we're able to do is actually create a function, and then with these macros that Unreal Engine provides, we can actually expose these functions to Blueprint, or when our C++ code calls it, it'll actually trigger this corresponding function or event. Really, it becomes an event in the Blueprint world that something has happened, right? So again, we're gonna replicate this idea. So still Blueprint event, still related to chat. That's fine. This category kind of determines when in blueprints. So for example, let's see. There we go. So these are all the different categories of things, and so depending on what you've selected, so we haven't really given the demo this yet, but hopefully we'll get to it in a few minutes, of the Unreal Blueprint system. But you can kind of drag different pins out, and based on what you're dragging it from, this list of things available for you to add as a new node will change. So it's context sensitive, and the different classes kind of determine where the different functions end up in this box of stuff. So that's why it's got a category, because when we look at the MA HUD in Blueprint, we'll see a chat category of functions with this these two functions. So get rid of team only, we won't need that. Just quick voice implementation, clean that up. There we go. And let's go to here. Start quick. Alright. When you have events, you need to have a default implementation in C++ in case your Blueprint does not re-implement the event. So this way everything will work out. Alright, I'm going to start checking stuff out. Alright, go. We need the HUD. The HUD, need player controller. Now we can save, and we haven't touched it over here yet, but we can close out the HUD on the C++ side. I think we're done with that for now. We gotta add the start quick voice to the header file on this side, on the player controller. Where is it? Start say, that's start all chat. There we go. My other keyboard ran out of batteries last night, so I'm using a different keyboard, and it's just different enough to where I have to look for the home and end keys, which is quite annoying. Alright. Alright, we got that set up. Got this, and now we need to, let's see, we got the binding, right? We set that up all the way up here. Quick voice, it will start quick voice. That's great. So I think that's all we need for now. Actually, we need to take input. Well, let's see what happens. So I'm going to build this C++ side. Adjust my headset. Alright, I finally got... I was in the wrong window on my laptop for Twitch, so now I'll be able to see the chat in case anyone wants to yell things out. And we'll be able to reply on this window because I'm not logged in. I'm not going to bother logging in. Alright. We are compiled. Excellent. Using our nice beefy processor to do so. Alright, so now we got to do one more thing. We need to connect the binding. So like I mentioned, we got the string, right, quick voice. And what we're going to need to do, let's see here. Midair, config. Got this default input INI, and this again connects the bindings that are in code, right, the textual name for the action with some specific key. So here's the guys we're looking for, all chat and team chat. Our action mappings, we will add a new one. Oops, Notepad, it's not great. I do have Notepad++ that I use for everything, but it is not bound for INI, unfortunately. And I don't really care to fix it right now, because Notepad's usually decent enough. Alright, I will have to check out this file from source control before I save it. Oops. Alright, that's saved. Cool, cool. So, here's our HUD. Now, we need to find where the start chat or start voice stuff happens. I'm trying to remember. It's not on here. Where is it? There's some beautiful blueprint code. Let's see, start chat here. What have I missed? Let's see. Start all chats. Call start chat in the HUD. And that's just a implementation. Let's see. Where are you? Expect it to be in the HUD. How does the chat HUD get it? Let's see. Yep, HUD might be passed in through here. There we go. Yes. Alright. So we'll do the same thing here. Basically at the beginning of play, this code takes our HUD blueprint and sets up the chat widget we'll be using. And so we'll probably want something similar to that, but this is the event we're really interested in, the start chat. The C++ code will call into this, and what it'll do, follow the line, it'll set focus on the chat HUD widget. So that means it will get keyboard focus, right? We want to take control for a while, so we can do our bindings, and once we're done, the chat HUD will give up its focus. So that's what we'll kind of implement again. We'll add a new event. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. Alright, begin play. I think we want... There we go, there's our event underneath chat. Look at that category. Alright. So we got something like that. It's HUD widgets. What is that guy? It's a variable. It's a user variable. It's not showing up in here. Actually, you probably need this. Right, yes. Oh, but that already exists. I don't need that. I'll reuse it. Right. So here we go. Copy this. Not really copy, but I'm going to connect the dots. So we got chat widgets. And really, we need a function, or we need a variable exposed to get to our quick voice. So here's the HUD. There's the old chat widget for team chat, and we're gonna rename this quick voice. Well, let me rename you. Oh, why can I not rename you? Need to be a designer. There we go. Quick voice. Great. Oops. Save it. Alright, back to HUD. And we'll take this guy. Actually, no, we need to get our quick voice. There we go. Got quick voice widget down here. Alright. And we'll set focus to it. That'll give it keyboard focus. Actually, I want full focus. Why won't you let me do that? Interesting. I need to change the quick voice widget to allow me to focus. So, go over here, to root level. It says it is focusable. Why is it not letting me do that? Let us compare to the chat HUD, see if I missed something. This widget is focusable, yep. Is enabled, visibility, blah blah blah. Perhaps I need to implement a function. There we go, set focus. Ah, that's a custom event. Great, okay. Actually, I don't really need any of this. All I need to do is get the keyword focus. So that's why it didn't show up. That was a custom event that Michael put in for the chat HUD. But for this purpose, we just need the keyboard focus. Keyboard focus. Set keyboard focus. There we go. Connect the lines. So when we hit V, we should get keyboard focus on the guy over there. We'll see if that happens in a second. Nope. What's wrong? Could not find... have I not compiled you? I have not. Correct, UMG. You are correct. Check that out. Okay. So... I might have to restart the editor since I changed default input, so let me just do that real quick. while we're doing this, I'm curious. Let's see, do we got any new? That's not what I want. Kickstarter. Here we go. What do we got? Not bad, not bad. I think we got a good amount of backers overnight. Alright. What were we doing? Alright, quick voice. Oh yes, I was going to try out, right? So now, this should all flow through all the way to this quick voice HUD. It'll get the focus, and what we want to do is continue binding our keys, right? So let's set up that when we press G, it'll switch to this global panel, and we should see this on screen instead of this. Actually, to really begin with, when we press V, we should also make this pop up, but I'll fix that in a sec later. Alright, so what we'll do is override. Actually, I can do an on key. Here we go. On key. Let's do up. Oh, maybe I should do down. Let's do down. Alright. Let's see, which key do we have? This key. Do a select. No, let's not do that. Okay, we'll get the key. Return value, key name. I don't think that's quite what I want to do. Let's see, what have I done before? Handling inputs on the UI side is always a little funky. Let's see, who has... Let's do our options. That's not a good one either. Actually it is. Settings, settings, settings. That's in the menu. Settings, actually bind key. Go. Get text. Go on key down, get key. That's not quite what I want. Pretty sure I can bind to just specific keys, even though that's not great. Let's see, can I do that? Nope. Let's see, this is a key name. Key structure. It's the same thing. Yeah, why did you not show that to me earlier? There we go. Sometimes the contextual menu is not great. I think this will be what I want. Alright. I don't really want to compare keys. It'd be great if I had a switch of this, but this will be good enough. Not the same thing, alright. Can I get the key? Yep. Alright, that's what that function did. Alright. Cool, cool. So, what I can do is nest these. So this little block will compare the key that's retrieved from the keyboard, and I can say, for example, G. Where are you? Right, and it'll compare and say if it is G, it'll tell me the truth value on this red node here. So, gonna add a branch, and we'll build it up this way for now. Add some more. Key equals. Actually, I'm just gonna copy these. There we go. Got a bunch of these guys. Hook this up. So one thing we're missing right now is state. But what I could potentially do is pass the key events down to the different panels and have them handle it themselves, which is probably a good idea. We'll see if that works. Let's get the root one down first. Let's see, what are my keys again? Alright. We need F, right, for flag. R for repair. And D for defense. So we'll chain these together. It's quite ugly. Alright, so string the first function here, and if the key's not G, we'll pass it along and check the next one. We'll see if it's F. If it's not F, we'll see if it's R. If it's not R, we'll check for D. Right, and based on which one of these gets hit, we'll switch the panel. So I'm going to rename this guy from widget switcher to let's see, voice menu switcher. That sounds cool. Alright, here we go. Voice menu switcher. So based on these keys, we'll switch by index. So we'll need to see. So root is there. We got global, defend, flag, and repair. Did I order those right here? Global, flag, and not quite. Let me reorder these for sanity's sake. GDFR, GDFR, GDFR. There we go. Cool. Now we need, there we go, set active widgets, index. So I think I can actually do it by name, but I'll just use indexes. If I do it by, I think, let's see, set active widget. So I could actually select the different panels. That might be nicer for this. Let's do that. If I rename these and make them all variables, root, global, defend. This way, actually the ordering that I just reordered does not matter because we will be able to connect things directly. Oh, I'm still on Slack. Let me quit that out. There we go. Oops. Oh no, I closed it over here too. Alright. Set active widget. Brilliant. Cool. So, VG for global. Here's global, get, connect. Cool. Move this guy out here, move this guy out here. Alright, we'll basically be reusing a bunch of these blocks. Set that up. Good. Yep. Alright. String them together. Cool. G for global. D for defense. What's next? F flag. And R for repair. Cool. So we've set the active widgets. Let's connect them to the return node to make this complete function. Alright, now we'll test it. Return value, I will say I've handled it. I've handled this event. There we go. No? Yep, okay. I didn't actually change this. Alright. Okay. Let's see what happens. Holding my breath. Alright, here we are, V and G. Oh no, nothing happened. Alright. Why did that work? Let's see. Let's debug this. Alright, so you set up V in the default input. It should start a function. Let's do a quick check here to see if this on key down actually gets called. Alright, we should get keyboard focus, so add a breakpoint here, and let's play again. Alright, here we are. Press V. Nope. Isn't that getting passed on? Alright, why not? Let's see. What am I looking for? Looking for the HUD. Here we go. HUD, HUD, HUD. There you are. Alright, start quick voice. Set keyboard focus on quick voice. I'll set a breakpoint here, but I'm pretty sure it's not getting called. Otherwise it would probably just flow through by now. Oh, we got an error. Oh, that's great. Apparently EMG did not tell me I had something broken earlier. That might be why. Okay. Let us redo this. Must have changed something and it's now angry. Nope, what do you want? Quick voice reference doesn't match the property quick voice of type reinstant WPP quick voice C76 reference. Of course that fixed it. Yep, yep. Just hitting buttons. Fantastic. Alright. Everything's saved and compiled over here. Got a breakpoint. Let's try it again. Got keyboard input. Nope. Why not? Okay. Next step, back into Visual Studio, see if our binding actually worked. Let's double check what we got here. Quick voice. Start quick voice. Let's look at that default INI again. Pretty sure I restarted the editor after I fixed it. Quick chat. Ah, it's not quick chat. It's quick voice. Save that. That is the mistake. The problem with using text. Kill that breakpoint. Here. Alright, let me restart this. So it picks up the default input change. Don't save that because I don't think I changed anything. That's the wrong one. That's not where I wanted to go either. Fine. Checking for any messages. Got someone excited. Got Stuff LG excited for the voice commands. I'm excited too. Wait till you see this AUG sound Justin and I found last night. I mean, Justin found it, and then I said we should use it in the game because it's really stupid and annoying. And that's what you want for a global spammy chat voice. Okay, let's just try it. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that! It's working. So it went once, right? I haven't connected the way out of the chat window yet, right? But so I'm pressing V, press V, and I'm going to press D. Look at that, the panel's changed to defend. Obviously it's getting a little cut off because we haven't sized the widgets correctly all the way, but we don't really care about that right now. What we need to do is handle a few more things, right? So, actually that was interesting. Was I able to move? I am still able to move while hitting these keys. That's not great, because actually maybe that is okay. We'll see what happens. Because I'm thinking, you know, you press V, G, and W, but it might not pick up the W if these input bindings or the movement bindings, you know, W, are overriding our desire in the UI. But maybe it'll just kind of stack up, and I bet it will. Alright, cool, good progress. So let's fix the part where it does not exit out once we're done. Right, so we want to handle the case of we're in some panel and we've hit a key that's not handled. In that case we should give up keyboard focus, right, and hide the thing. So let's start with the hiding part. So in order to hide something, we'll have to handle... Actually, we might as well start with making it start hidden, right? So go to the HUD here, change this guy's visibility to be collapsed to start with. Alright. And what we'll do is... Let's see, where's that... oh, it's kind of hacky. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do it here. So after we give it a keyboard focus, we'll tell Quick Voice, you are now visible. Alright. Predict it will work. Alright, it's not there. There it is. Alright. It works great. So, now like I said, I wanted to handle passing the different keys down to each panel. So let's see if I can make that work. Adjust my seating position. We got Quick Voice. Alright. Alright, so this is the main event. Let's see if I can pass it along. So what I'll do is, when I set the active widget, it should probably still retain keyboard focus. We'll test it out. I might have to give it the sub-widget, but I think this widget overall is handling it. Yeah, it'll probably work. The trick is going to be from each of these sub-panels telling the overall voice chat to disappear. So what we'll do, how will we do that? We should pass ourselves in. So this, how did I do this before? I think, do I have a, let's see, Quick Voice, widget, get parent. Alright, we will get the parent from somewhere and pass it up. I don't want to make it too hacky, so what I'll do is, where do I want to do? How about here? How do I want to do this? Alright, so visibility of myself. Actually, that should work. So, what I'll do is actually add a function. Actually, do I need that? Let's make it a function. bad key. Bad input, or unknown binding. Right, so we'll call this from the various guys, and we might clean up some other state. But for now, we'll just set visibility of ourselves to collapsed. Target ourself. There we go. There's a function. Yeah, we can test this out. Here's on our key down. And so if all these things fail, right, we've got... Why are you not? I'm not connected. All we're going to do is call our function, actually. We go drag and drop. There's a function. If we've gone through all these different checks on the root guy, we will call unknown binding on ourselves and pass that to return node. Make this look a little nicer. Right, and that should hide the guy. Should probably make sure our keyboard focus gets returned. Okay, maybe I don't need that then. Can I clear? I think there's a clear. No, keyboard focus. Maybe it's smart enough and we'll do the right thing. Actually, it will, because... Actually, I don't know. We'll see. I'm thinking after on key down is handled, it might give up focus, but we'll see. Might not. But maybe if it's collapsed, it'll give it up. Alright, here we go. Pressing V, it shows up. Pressing G. Alright, didn't actually handle it at all. Nope, there's Og. Interesting. Oh, did it go away? Okay, V is now toggling the view. It's kind of working. Right, so I can reuse it. So that's a good point. Once we hit a unknown binding, besides going to a collapse state on this menu, we want to reset our active widget back to the root. Right, so we made it invisible, but let's, before we do that, here's a voice menu switcher. Get the guy. Set active widget to our root. Connect these guys. Whoop. Cool, cool. V, G, didn't do anything. VD, VR, VD, G, G. Well, it's kind of there. At least it's restarting at the right thing. There's our taunts. Actually, there's nothing under taunts, so it did the right thing. I'm pressing V and T and it's hiding and returning to the main menu, or the main root voice binding. So that's great. VRB. VRB, look at that. Alright. VFR, VFR, VFRB. That's not quite right. We'll fix that. Alright. Yes. We are not innovating the system yet for the sake of the stream. A lot of our game systems and UI, we'll prototype them out and give them over to the testers and see how they feel. Obviously, the existing testers will have a probably strong tilt towards the old Tribes style, but radial menus are cool, look cool, and with the voice bindings or the key bindings on the radial menu, it can work quite nice. But as you can see, it's not very dynamic yet, because that will take a lot more work. Alright, so we got that going. I could hack it up more and just start playing sounds and adding text, but let's keep going down this path of not fully hacky implementation for now. So we need some state. Oh yeah, I was going to pass the keys down to the children. Right, so I will need to set keyboard focus on them. So there's a global chat, and let's... So when we select these things, we'll give them keyboard focus. Keyboard focus. There we go. Connect that. Right. There's only one problem. I don't have a special widget for these different panels, so even though I give them keyboard focus, they're not really going to do anything with that keyboard focus. I might be able to override it in here somewhere. I might not. Oh. What do we got going on here? Focus viewport. Thank you, Michael. Let's try that. Is that gonna do what I want? Oh, is that to return the keyboard focus? Viewport. Set focus to game viewport. This will return focus, keyboard focus, and mouse focus to the game when we hit the wrong key. But back to this idea, how do we pass along the keys to the right widgets? So ideally I do it nested. Alternatively I can kind of manage the state, and that's pretty easy to do here because I can ask the voice menu switcher which widget is active and kind of tweak these guys around. So I can start nesting this a little bit. That might be the easier way right now since I don't have subpanels for each of these. Eventually what we can do is say, you know, we create another widget, right, that is same idea, but instead of baking in this text into this vertical box, right, this collection of text, we can actually define in a file or in blueprints in some way what the different bindings will be, right, and that way we can build it up dynamically. And once we have that, each of these widgets can, each of these like sub menus, right, can handle their own keys based on what's passed in. But for now, we're just gonna do some gross state management. I'm trying to think, what's the... Do I just want to leave this root off here? So, let's see, we got on key down. Close breakpoint. So what we can do is say get active, actually where's this guy, voice menu switcher, get him, get active widget, index. Oh, it's by index done, I can't get the active widget. That's where the order suddenly becomes somewhat important. Alright, we're baking it in. Alright, integer, let's switch this. Actually, I can still do this the right way. Yes, excellent. So what I can do, I think, let's see. That is not what I want. I want to switch, but I want to switch on things I passed it in. That is annoying. This will be the selection. Alright, I'm not going to do the switch. I will do kind of how we did it here, where I will take the value and compare it to different widget indices. So, here we go. This might not be performant because I'm going to check this guy's index each time. That's okay for now. Get active widget, no, get widgets. Oh, come on, you can't tell me the widget index. Global index. Get active widget, get widget index. Oh, that is so annoying. This index might be the same, the child index. Let's find out. Let's see if this works. So we'll do a test with, we don't really care about global. Let's do defend. We know we care about that. Alright, so what we're going to do is compare, as we hit the key, we'll use this information of which sub-widget is active to kind of change what these bindings are going to do. Alright, so now we can do our let's compare ints. Alright, this is fantastic. Alright, compare this guy. Actually, I'm not going to compare this one. Like I said, global. Actually, we do need global. That's our... we need root, actually. Root is the most important one right now. Get root and get child index. Great. There we go. Oops. Alright. So, branch all the way over here. This will look less terrible later. There we go. So, if we got a key and the active widget, right, we're going to compare the active widget against root. So, if they are equal, we will then proceed to do all the stuff we had down here. So I'm going to actually just kind of move this all the way out here. This value I'll actually kind of set as local variable to make it a little cleaner. Local variable, let's call it current key. There's the current key. Break all the links connected here. Great. Hopefully that works. Get this guy here. So that was entirely for making this look a little nicer and manageable. Alright, drink break. By the way, check out this mug. It's a dog. It's speaking over the lip as I drink it. It's awesome. Am I still... let's see. Okay, I unmuted correctly. Cool. Can I compare an active widget? I guess I can compare by name. Right, get active widget. Get active... I can't really... Does it rearrange the child? How does that work? Get child. The panel switcher might rearrange the children dynamically, so maybe it's the 0 index one. Well, this will work for now. We can test it in a second. Alright, so got our roots. If we're equal to root, we will branch in over here and do our handling of switching the active widgets. Get our unknown bindings here. Yep, that looks fine. So we got that, and then otherwise, if we're global, and comparent. Separate these out a bit. Let's rearrange this. Cool. Actually, I don't actually want to know if the integers are greater or less than. I just want to know if they're equal or not. I just need equal int. Int equals. There we go. That's what I want. And then I gotta do a branch, of course. Fine. Are these two equal? If they are, go do our stuff over here. Otherwise, if they aren't, let's break this and repeat this exercise down here. Compare active against global. Connect false to this branch. So if this one doesn't work out, we'll try this guy. And now we're set here. Except for the fact that we haven't connected this yet. So we need to set this variable here. Then pipe this in all the way over here. Beautiful. I think I get active. Get widget at index. I see. Yes, and then get the name. And pipe this in. Get name. So I could compare this way. I can actually do a switch on string. Yes, that's a little bit better. Let's try that. That was a suggestion by Michael. I'm not gonna delete this yet in case it doesn't work out. Let's break that. Break that. Kind of actually I can break most of this. This over here. Display name. Alright, this will be better. Get widget index. This guy. I don't know of a nice way to make this flow together. Let's just leave it like that. Alright. Switch on string. We've got our names, root global defend. Let's add some of these. Let's get rid of okay. Global defend flag repair. Right. So we set that up. Pipe this in. Put this down here. No, it doesn't really matter where it sits. Alright. So that's way easier to do all those branches. So if we're global, go back to where we were before. Go to this branch, and if we're sorry, that was a root. I need a root. Can I rearrange you? No, but that's fine. I can do this. Okay. Let's make sure this still works after hacking away on it. V. At least it shows up and hides. That's actually interesting. Does not appear to be switching panels anymore. What is the break? Design with a return node. That's fine. Let's breakpoint here and see what exactly is going on. So hit V. Okay, I hit G. Current value is root. Okay. That's great. What's next? Oh hey, it's doing the stuff. Alright. Why is it not switching over? Okay. Switch on to global. Interesting. V and G. It is sometimes going into there. It's interesting. Am I giving up focus too fast? Let's see when this gets hit. The HUD's just not redrawing. V, G, X, it's not valid. Z, it's not giving up any of these bindings. Now it's doing it. Interesting. Is it consuming the key too early? Get active widgets, switch. No, well, we haven't really done anything. Well, no, but this is root. Goes to here, and it should change to global. Set that to active widgets, set keyboard focus, and return. Why aren't you doing what I want? Set active. No, not set active. Don't actually have a subpanel yet. Let me just do the best thing. Print string. I think this is actually going to do what I want. There's V and G. No? Alright, now it's printing it. Global state. So, pressing V gets me focus. I think I consume it. That gives me focus, and then the next key press should go through here. Root, global, and we reset to root here. Should probably make this return. No. So VG should go to global, but it's not. Let's add more strings. Oops. Root input, global input. Pipe this in through the rest, because that's kind of what we had before, but now I'll know which state I'm in. See if that fixes something. V, G, nothing. G, nothing. G, nothing. D, F, R, nope. Now press V again, and G, and now it's working. What is it doing? V, G. Mysterious. I wonder if I'm messing this up. This should get called each time. Alright. Dig in more. Alright, press V, menu shows up, press G, nothing happens. Press D, we move. R, nothing, right. Press V again. and G. And now we're hitting it. That's pretty weird. That was not happening before. Alright. Current value is any key. That's not true. Alright. G. That's correct. Step. There we go. Going to root. Yep, you're right. We're going to root. Comparing here. Setting it to global. Yep. Set keyboard focus to, that's the problem. I was trying to set it to, that widget. I forgot I threw that in there. How about that? That was when I realized that I shouldn't set keyboard focus to the guys because nothing would get handled, and then I got distracted. I remember someone was saying something to me, and yeah, that will probably fix it. Let's try this again. Get rid of that stuff. Pipe this through roughly to what we had before. Get rid of that breakpoint. Alright. Alright. VG. No, still no works. VG. VG. Nope. VVG works. VVVG. Something being stupid again. So G sets to global, and we should. Yep, still there, and then. Also switching it to the wrong. Should be fine. Root, and then we go to global. So global should change something. Actually, let's print as soon as we have any key. I feel like it's consuming the input too early. Alright, here's V, bring it up, G, and nothing happened. Press V again, and now we're good. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think that was working before. I don't think it was doing that before, I mean, so now it's more broken. That's interesting. I wonder if it's because I'm setting the current key. That wouldn't make sense either. Get rid of this stuff. I don't need that for sure. Looks like it's working. This switch is working as far as I know. This current key thing seems like it's kind of working. Setting the active widget, unknown binding. Maybe this seemed to be working before. I wonder if this did it. It might mean I've had some other bugs somewhere. Let's see. V, G, nope. V, G, actually, right now it's working better. That's weird. Looks like the first time I press V. Huh. Does this work? Yep, that works. That works. That's interesting. VG, VVG. No, it doesn't work again. VVG. So if I type here, VG, doesn't work anymore. VGG. So it seems it is related to the keyboard focus over here. Can I undo? No, it won't let me undo. Okay. Set viewport. It's possible this is getting called too often, and it might actually be because. Let's think about this. Alright, so we start out. No, it's getting consumed immediately. That's really weird. Need this guy. So, as soon as we start quick voice, let's make sure this gets. Let's do it here. Let's make sure this gets hit when I hit the V key the first time. There we go. Press V. Oh, it is getting hit. That's good. Step, step, step. we've hit V. Let's see if this gets hit immediately or not. It does not. And then let's try G. And G does not get hit. Or D. But now if I do V again, to set keyboard focus again, sets it to visible, passes it along, and seem to be losing focus. I want to set keyboard focus. I want to keep the keyboard focus set on this guy. Yeah, remove that. Alright, so here. Press V. Press V again, nothing happens. Now press V the third time, it hits. And we'll resume. As soon as I focus out here, it is really bizarre. So what we can do is bypass all this. Alright, we'll bypass that. But I know this is not even getting hit that often. But sometimes UMG works in mysterious ways. Oh. Right. Yep, current key set. Let's try this. Let's bypass all that. I don't think it's the issue, but like I said, oh, come on. That's me leaning to see the edge of the screen, which is not actually visible. Let's just connect these guys. Actually, that just does not change anything. It's just not getting called. Now, I'm sure you all remember it did work. And I've broken it. Let's kill this binding. Nope. Maybe it didn't actually work before. I mean, it worked, but I had to hit V a few times. So this is where a lot of development time goes, is thinking you know what you're doing, and then you run into this weird problem. Just a weird scenario. Yep, self, this is all good. I don't think it's related to this at all, like, the first V is not even hitting, no, the first V is correct, it shows the menu, but then the second key press does not do anything. So we have focus, and we press, and nothing happens. Got this set up still, bypassing this, going to here. Key checks, and if that's unknown, try this again. I'm just gonna restart UMG. Sometimes restarting things helps. This is a really weird bug. Alright, don't have much time left. I think we're ending in under 10 minutes here. Again. Right. Centauri's getting excited to stream his work soon after mine. Alright, let's see what happens. V. G. No, it does not work. Press V again. So I have to press V twice. I'll just make that a feature, right? You gotta press V and V again. Right, well, at least it gets part of the way there, so maybe we can just hook in the sound anyway. Because I can cheat and hit the keys enough, then it'll end up somewhere. So let's show kind of how the audio works out here. So let's see, these are sounds. Not really menu sounds. We're gonna need character sounds. Not really. Let's go new folder. New folder. Voice packs. Create another one below that. I haven't actually thought about how we're going to do voice packs here, but oops. I think we'll have different. Oh, the folders really don't matter. At the end of the day, when we hook up, as you'll see, it's just connecting various assets together. So let's see, is that the right way? We've got it set up elsewhere. So we have a certain structure for how we name and store our files so that all the different artists and developers working together know where to find stuff and have some idea of how to name things. So what we have here are my various sounds. I'm just going to take this one because it's the best. Put that into waves. Oh no, failed to create asset. Alright, let's try a different one then. Let's do Defender Generator. Everyone loves that one, right? Ah, come on. Oh, balls. Failed to create assets. Does not like the sound quality I've got. I can fix it in Audacity, or at least to pipe it together, let's use a different sound for now. Right, back to UI. Probably need to make them 16-bit. We'll see if actually I can fix that real quick. Audacity, the tool of the pros like myself. Bring in OGG here. Go. We'll export it to 16-bit. Overwrite it. Sure. Go nuts. Don't save changes. Alright, thank you Audacity. Even made a backup of my old sound. Alright, back to voice packs. Simon Says. The waves go in here. Go. Alright, we got it here. Like I said, we've got a naming convention for our stuff. What is it? It's S underscore and some other info. So we'll do S voice pack. Simon Says. OGG. Super long. It's great. And we'll create a new sound cue. Up here. There's the sound cue. There we go. Sound cue. Same idea. See, the sound cue allows us to kind of adjust how the sound is played and how we mix it together, what type of sound it is, right? So we're able to, we're going to assign this to our voice chat or voice pack channel, so you can make them quieter or louder as you wish. It'll be nice for our audio engineer to mix the stuff together. Right, SC, what did I say? Voice pack, Simon Says, OGG, roughly right. Voice pack, yep, great. And we Let's see, was it play, wave player? I think that's right. Nope, that's not right. Where are you? Can I do this? How about that? That's awesome. Great. I think this is right. Let's say this one. Yes. Great sound. That'll be really annoying. Alright. Back to quick voice. So we got only a couple minutes left. Should I wrap up here? Oh no, just Benji telling me. Alright. So EC Lee had a question. How long I've been working with Unreal? Basically I started using Unreal Engine 4 when I joined this project. So it's been almost 2 years. Working, you know, around 5 to 10 hours a week. Sometimes much more during various crunch time. So, I mean, you know, I've got a C++ background. I do not have a Unreal background. So, the editor is pretty easy to pick up and do all this. And we do have some experienced people on our team with the Unreal Engine, so that definitely helps learn. And like I said yesterday, there is a nice community that has tons of content on how to do stuff. And plus, Unreal provides a lot of good example blueprints, so you can do a lot of stuff in these blueprints besides just the UI. You can do a lot of gameplay stuff. Alright, so got this guy, voice menu switcher. We'll need to play it somewhere. What do we got? Global. If we're in global, so let's do this. If we're in global, what was my binding for the AUG? I think it was G. No, we don't have a G here. Oh, we do have a G here. Alright, we're gonna make it super hacky. So we're gonna go through here. Do I want to do this? Yeah, this worked. I think. So global, root global. Do the same thing. Make a new stack for this new panel. Global goes to here. Boy, it's tough talking for 2 hours. I'm not even like at Shoutcast level or Ian level. I mean, those guys are insane. Alright, current key G. If we're in global, what we'll do, we'll play a sound. We will play a sound and get our Simon Says voice pack. There's the sound cue. Hooked it up. If this doesn't work, we want to do the same thing. We don't know what the key is, so we turn here, and that might work. Let's see what happens, right? Root, global, beautiful. And, yeah, we'll at least get sound. We'll add chat later. Alright, so, press V twice, G, oops, I messed it up. Oh, G is not doing anything. Why is G not doing anything? VVG, G. Do a quick breakpoint here. Active widget should go to global after G. Here's G. Switch to global widget. Wonder if we're losing focus again. Maybe not. Let's see if this actually gets hit. Oops. Move breakpoint. What's wrong? Oh, there we go. Toggle breakpoint. What are you telling me? Yellow. Do I need to... I don't actually know what the yellow one means. It's probably telling me something's wrong. Yeah, let's see. See if it hits anyway. Maybe it's telling me that it's never gonna hit. Switch on string, global. Oh, we saw it working before. If that's interesting. Nope, yep. Oh, thank you, Unreal. You are correct. I bypassed all this code. Let's switch that. We gotta break out real quick. There we go. Let's remove this breakpoint, and now Save that. Great. Actually, that might be why it was not working. Let's remove this breakpoint. Alright. Here we go. VVG. Oh, I hit it wrong again. I don't know why I keep hitting A. Because it's awesome. There we go. VVGG. VVGG. That will never get old. Oh, it's even better. I'm going to call that a success. Once more. Great. A little too much echo. We'll fix that up. We'll the audio engineer fix it. This is not our own recording anyway, so it's definitely not on our quality. But there we go. That's it for me. I'll feel any remaining questions and then we'll transition to Centauri in a second, or in a few minutes. See anything on Twitch? Looks like people probably enjoy that sound. Alright. No, I think there was a question on me. Is my camera angle off? No. No, that was a question on how long I've been working. Alright. Let's see if Centauri's almost ready. One more thing we need to do is, after playing the sound, we need to actually loop back and pretend we didn't know what that key was, so we can reset everything. As you noticed, I was able to play that sound really rapidly over and over and over again, because it was still stuck in that kind of state. So here's VVG, G, and now if I press G again, I can't, and it's hidden. So, alright. Let's do this. Let us switch over to our schedule. Here we are. So you should see on your screen the schedule for today. Maybe I should pull it up on my own screen so I can talk about it. Here we go. Saturday's schedule. So we just got finished with the 2 hours of coding with Simon. Up next in a few minutes is 3D modeling with Centauri until 2 p.m. Eastern. And then after that we'll have a sound panel with a bunch of our audio engineers. Talk about how we do our sound design. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about our voice pack plans. That'll be from 2 to 3 Eastern. After that we will have a recording of the FPSZ podcast and an AMA. We'll probably have kind of a all hands available on that one, so we'll see who's around, and we can probably field questions to a variety of people. That is from 3 to 5 Eastern. After that, from 5 to 7 Eastern, we've got graphics work with Brian. He'll be showing how he makes that background look so nice. All the texturing and, I mean, just a lot of texturing. It looks really great. So, not sure exactly what he will cover, but we will find out as we get closer to that time. After graphics with Brian at 7 p.m. we will have an art panel, so we'll have again kind of a all hands on the art team, talk about whatever we want with you guys on Twitch, or rather whatever you guys want on Twitch about art, our art process, our texturing, our modeling, the inspiration for the art, the look and feel. And then after 8 we will have some more pickup games casted by Guitar Guy and Winters. There'll be 3 hours of pickup games. It'll be awesome. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday. It was really exciting. I think we're working on uploading the highlights from yesterday, so you can catch them on YouTube in a bit. We'll let you know if they are up or not, or just actually follow our YouTube channel. After that, after the pickup games, late at night from 11 to 12 a.m., or 11 p.m. to 12 a.m., we will have Mabel, the one and only, and Chris, aka Bug Spray, talking about really what everyone really cares about besides the look and feel of the game, or really this is what the look and feel, not the look, but the feel of the game is, right? It's the physics, the skiing physics, the movement physics, the lag compensation. Mabel has done a ton of work on the Unreal Engine to really make them top-notch, both on the lag compensation side and on just kind of the feel of the game. So if you guys have any questions on what he's done, what his plans are, that'll be definitely a session to attend after those awesome pickup games. And then, after that panel, we've got 2 more hours of content for tonight from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern. Jacob will be showing his 3D modeling process. That'll be really cool. So we've got tons of content for today. Let's see what our Kickstarter numbers are looking like. We've got almost 44,000 backed. We're just over $100 shy. So maybe in the next 2 hours, as you guys watch Centauri make some really cool shit, you'll back it, because Centauri is amazing, and he does all this environment modeling. It is really awesome, I think, and I think you guys agree too. So you'll see how he gets around to making these cool bases, and those pipes you saw yesterday, and who knows what he'll cover. So, yeah, I will get ready to hand it over to Centauri. Again, stay tuned for the rest of the day. Want to hit our goal throughout these days. We're almost at 44,000. Also, almost at 500 backers. We got 496 backers, 4 more backers to go. I bet if we got 4 backers with the average backing rate, we could hit that $44,000 number. So let's see what happens while Centauri works his magic in. Actually, I don't know what the remodeling program uses. Yeah, he can talk about it. So I will transition to. What do I do? Transition to. I think I'll stop the stream now, right? And Centauri will kick it off. So Simon logging off. Probably talk to you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.